Hey guys, in this video, I'm going to talk about some really important things that you should consider and should also work on if you want to increase your picking speed. The first thing that you want to do is make sure that you're consistently picking using the tip of your pick. Okay, if you're picking very heavy like this, okay, you're using too much of that pick. And that's basically increasing drag and that's slowing you down. So what you want to do is begin looking at your right hand, okay, as you're picking, okay, and begin checking just to make sure that you're consistently using the tip of your pick. Okay, make sure that you're consistently using the tip of the pick. So that's tip number one. The second thing I want to talk about is what you call economy of motion. Okay, we are trying to minimize movement as much as possible. Okay, and I'm talking about both left and right hands. Okay, so one of the things that I see a lot of early beginners do is that there's too much motion on the right hand, there's too much movement on the left hand. So for example, if let's say we're playing the pentatonic scale, it would look something like that. And so as you can see, the fingers are just raised up too much, okay? And also on the right hand, that could be a lot of movement that's going on as well. So what we're gonna do is we wanna minimize movement as much as possible, okay? And on the right hand, what this looks like is, number one, we're using the tip of the pick consistently, okay? And when we're picking, we're only moving as much as we need to, okay? We're not going like this and then up again and that's an exaggeration, obviously, but you get what I'm saying. We want to minimize that motion, okay? And on the left hand, what it looks like is we're trying to not lift our fingers off the fretboard too far. Okay, we're trying to keep our fingers as close to the string as possible. Okay? So keep those fingers really tight on that fretboard, okay, as much as possible on the right hand, okay? As you're transitioning also, you try to minimize movement on each string, okay? So if you're playing a 3-note per string pattern, it will look more like this. Okay, that's what it looks like. So minimize your movement. The third tip that I want to give you for increasing your picking speed is making sure that you're not putting too much pressure when you're in your fretting hand, okay? So if you're pressing your strings really, really hard when you're fretting, okay, what happens is that you're creating a lot of tension in your hand, okay, and your muscles are actually getting more stiff as you are fretting, okay. And so what you want to do is, for example, if let's say I'm playing this note, okay, what you want to do is start with nothing and then slowly increase the pressure on your finger. Okay, and then you kind of get a feel for how much energy you actually need to get the sound out, okay? And minimizing pressure also, okay? I'm not saying that's so light that you cannot even hear the note like this, okay? It has to be enough where you can actually hear the note, okay? And so you're putting enough pressure to play the note, okay? But you're not overexerting pressure onto the string, okay? And because that will slow you down. So when we're trying to play faster, what we're doing is we're trying to buy time, okay? We're trying to cut out as many things as possible that's going to waste our time, okay? And that's how we increase our speed. I hope that makes sense. For tip number 4, I want to talk about synchronization, okay? Because a lot of people can, you can play fast, but the issue is that sometimes the faster you go, the more sloppy you get. So one of the things that you really want to work on is making sure that your fretting hand and your picking hand are synchronized, okay? And the idea here is that we start slow and we build speed progressively, okay? But the idea here is that we make sure that both hands are synchronized so that as we get faster, either we're missing our pick or we are picking too early or we're fretting too early. And so when you're out of sync, it doesn't help with your speed, okay? So we want to be fast, but at the same time, we want to be synchronized. So make sure you work on synchronization as you are trying to play fast. For tip number 5, I would say make sure you master both economy and alternate picking, okay? For alternate picking is down, up, down, up, okay? For economy picking is down, up, down, down, up, down, or up, down, up, down, up. So for example, for alternate picking, it would be pentatonic scale, right? Okay, so that's your pentatonic scale, and that's your alternate picking. And then for economy picking, use a diatonic scale. Use a 3-note per string diatonic scale, okay? And if you would like to have some charts of the scales that I'm playing, please do download it using the link below. I give away my scale charts to the public for free. And these are charts that I put together for my students from my online school. So it's free to download. Just tell me where to send it and you'll get a PDF with all the scales that I'm playing, and that will help you as you practice your economy and your alternate picking. So for economy picking, okay, let's say I use an ALN scale, okay? Okay, so down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up, down. Okay, so make sure you get really good at both economy and alternate picking, and I'm going to give you some exercises at the end of this tutorial. Tip number 6, practice your scales and your picking, okay, techniques in sections. So for example, would be, let's say I'm working on a 3-note, 3-string pattern, right? Let's say, and let's say I'm missing notes there, I'm not happy with it. What I would do is I would practice just the 3 strings. So practice it in pieces. So this will help you iron out the areas where you have issues with your fingering and with your picking, with your synchronization, okay? And then put it all together. Practice it as a whole, and also practice your scales and your picking, synchronization. Do it in parts and in sections, okay? Do one string set and then go to another string set, and then that's how you would get faster as you're putting everything together. Tip number 7, build muscle memory. So when you're trying to increase your speed, one of the things that you don't want to do is to be trying to figure out what notes you're playing as you're trying to play fast, right? So make sure that as you are trying to build speed, okay, make sure you know your scale by heart, okay? And so having this subconscious ability to play the scale helps you increase your speed. Okay, if you have to think about what note you're playing, okay, as you're playing, it's going to slow you down. So make sure you get those notes ironed out. Make sure you know those notes by heart, and it's pretty much subconscious. Then try to play that same skill faster and faster. Okay, so building your subconscious ability and building your muscle memory when you're playing these scales is absolutely crucial. I really hope that this helps. Tip number 8. When you're practicing for speed, try to clean up your guitar tone. Okay, as you can see, my tone is, it's not super, full of distortion or overdrive, or even reverb and delay. Because what happens is if you use a tone that is just with too much effects, it's going to be very hard for you to hear and listen to what's really going on with your playing. So when you clean up your tone and you minimize your reverb, now you're starting to really hear all the flaws and weaknesses that you have. And the goal here is to make sure you can play fast with the clean sound. And then when you turn your distortion on, your overdrive and your reverb and everything, you're going to sound a lot better. Tip number 9, try to practice consistently, okay? So if you're working on a scale, you're working on a pattern, you're trying to build speed, don't practice one day and then skip for 2 days and then come back to it. You're going to really struggle to build speed. The idea with building speed, a lot of it has to do with consistency. So try to devote like 30 minutes a day, okay? And that's every single day for a week, okay? And then you can take a day to rest and rest your hands and rest your mind as well, okay? There's certain days when you are going to wake up and pick up your guitar and you find yourself actually playing it slower. And I think that's a sign that your fingers are really tired, your mind's exhausted and your fingers are exhausted. So make sure you get lots of rest in between your practice sessions, okay? And as you come back, try to play faster. But the key here is consistency. Try to be as consistent as possible and devote a section of your practice time. Let's say if you've practiced an hour a day, okay, put aside 20 minutes, and that is just dedicated fully to working on your scales and speed. Tip number 10, try to practice speed and playing fast with scales that you're actually going to use, okay? Something worse than practicing something for speed just for the sake of practicing it for speed, okay? That's not going to really add to your arsenal of vocabulary in your soloing. And so well, make sure you practice using a scale that you're actually going to use and implement in your guitar playing. Okay, an example of this would be, let's say, an A11 scale, right? Your minor scale, right? Okay, and not your chromatic scale, for example. Okay, the odds of us using a scale like that in a song is almost zero. Okay, unless it's some kind of, some kind of metal or some kind of weird genre. Okay, so practice with scales that you're actually going to use. And that way, when you're playing your songs, you can actually use it while you're improvising. Now let's talk about the exercises that you can do to help you build speed. Okay, the first exercise is using the pentatonic scale. And what we're going to do is we're going to play it using an S shape. Okay, and we're going to try to go as cleanly and as fast as we can. So that exercise will help you build speed with your alternate picking, okay? And it's also, like I said, once again, it's a usable scale. That's something that you can use in your guitar playing. So make sure when you're practicing scales, once again, make sure you're using usable scales that you can implement in your vocabulary as you solo. In the next exercise, we're going to work on a minor scale. This is a very simple minor scale, okay? We're going to work on an A11 scale. Okay, that's we're using economy picking. Okay, down, up, down, 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 down, up, down. Okay, and then when we come back, we're going to use the Locrian scale. Okay. Okay, but this time we're going to play it using alternate picking. So economy this way. Okay, down, up, down, 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 down, up, down. And then back this way, down, up, 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 down, up. Okay. Okay. So that's your exercise. You can also use this this 2-pattern scale, okay, with all the rest of the scales on my free PDF scale chart. Okay, so for example, if you want to play up here, you can use your Lydian scale. Okay, so you Lydian, and then after you mix Lydian. So Lydian. Okay, economy. Okay, and then we're using alternate picking. Okay, so you can use that for all the scales in my charts. I really hope this tutorial has helped you. Thanks again for watching. I really hope these 10 tips will help you increase your picking speed. I'm wishing you all the very best. Don't forget to subscribe. See you soon.